What's up guys, Tarvin here from KLGadgetTV. Now, back when we were in Computex, we actually came across this company called Bloody. Now, Bloody, what they do is they produce gaming peripherals. For example, we have a keyboard here, we have a mouse, and they also have headphones and other gaming products. However, the reason why we were actually attracted to their booth is because this company is using something that they are calling a light strike RGB mechanical switches. Now, what these switches are is basically the same concept as the Razer Huntsman, where it's actually using light to give the input into the computer. So with that guys, let's take a look at the Bloody peripherals. Alright guys, so the first keyboard that we're going to look at is the Bloody B880R. Now this is a full optical mechanical keyboard, similar again to the Razer Huntsman. So with that guys, let's take a look at what they have here. Alright, so the packaging for the keyboard is pretty simple. You get the keyboard, you get a quick start guide, and of course some keycaps for you to change. So which is nice for those of you that like to customize your keyboard. At least you have the option right there. So let's talk about the keyboard itself. The keyboard is made out of plastic. Now the reason behind this is because Bloody wants to keep the cost down low against other competitors like Razer and SteelSeries. Because it is made out of plastic, the keyboard is very light. So other than that, they also have a handle-like design here. Now I think that this is a design option for the keyboard, but for those of you that have small hands, you probably can carry this around like a little bag, perhaps. Alright, so on the back here is also pretty simple. You have some kickstands here that will elevate the keyboard, but sadly you only have one option for elevation. But the legs of the kickstand is made out of rubber, so if you're going to put this on a surface, especially a glass surface, it's probably not going to slide around. So that's a very nice feature that they have added. Alright, so we've got the keyboard powered up. Now the keyboard does support full RGB range. However, they do have different colored options. So for example, we have this rainbow color that just scrolls through. Then we have something like this, which is like a starlight kind of thing, where just individual keys will just light up with different colors. Then over to this one, now this is just a stagnant full rainbow color. And also finally, you have just a simple orange color, which I think is really nice as it complements the red color LEDs that we have both on the top and bottom of the keyboard. Now, of course, you do have the option to reduce the brightness, and of course, going all the way down will totally off the RGB. So remember at the start of this video, I mentioned that this keyboard has light strike or optical keys. Well, the difference between an optical key and a mechanical key is in its way that it sends information to your computer. So for example, a mechanical key has a button at the base of the switch. Now when you press on the key, that key goes all the way down and hits the button at the bottom of the key, and that sends the information into the computer. However, when it comes to light strike switches like this, there is a laser that is at the base of the switch. Now when you press down on the key will cut that laser, and when that laser is cut, it sends an input again into the computer. So what is the difference between a mechanical switch and an optical switch? Because they sound the same, they still send information into the computer. Well, Bloody has mentioned that with optical or light strike switches, you eliminate the double pressing. So that's why, because every time you press down, the lasers needs to connect back to each other in order for you to give it another input. Whereas with a mechanical switch, you might accidentally double tap while it's already depressed. So that gives you a double input into the computer. So in overall, light switches will give you a longer lifespan compared to mechanical switches, because mechanical switches have buttons, whereas optical keys have a laser. And if you ask me, a laser can't spoil, but a mechanical switch can spoil. So let me just show you how it looks like over here. So as you can see for yourself, an optical switch looks like a mechanical key, and even sounds and feels like a mechanical key, and that's the beauty of what optical keys can do for you, because it is longer lasting and it's also much faster in its form of response rate. Now when I was trying the response rate, it's pretty hard to say whether this keyboard or this type of switch gives you a faster input compared to a mechanical switch. So to just show you the difference between a mechanical switch and an optical switch, let's do a little sound test. So as you can see for yourself, the sound of an optical key and a mechanical key is pretty similar. And if I'm not mistaken, that these keys are using the same type as the Cherry MX Brown, except for the fact that it's obviously a different color. So how does the typing experience feel and the usage of it? Well, I've been using this keyboard for 2 weeks, and in the past 2 weeks I realized that, well, using this keyboard or using a mechanical keyboard is probably going to be the same to you. Now, what the difference in this keyboard and a mechanical keyboard is probably the response time, because I do feel that this keyboard does give me a slightly faster response time compared to a mechanical switch. Now, that again might be different for each and every one of you, because you have probably used different types of mechanical keyboards and I have used different types of mechanical keyboards, and an optical keyboard is still pretty new in Malaysia. So this is definitely something that you guys have to try it out. Alright guys, so to wrap up this keyboard does come with some media controls. As you can see at the top here, you have your typical volume controls, your play and pause, your stop. There's also a game mode which basically disables the Windows key, and of course you have some macro keys at the side here which you can customize with the Bloody software. Alright guys, so the other two products is the Bloody B3370R, which is the keyboard here, and the Bloody P93, which is the mouse. This keyboard is, I think, is actually pretty unique. So the reason why is that if you can see this part, this illuminated up part, now these are the same mechanical switches that we were talking about. However, they are the second generation of the mechanical switches, and every other key on this keyboard is using a membrane switch. So that's where they are again reducing the cost of the keyboards, because as a gamer, if you are a gamer, then you know that this is probably the most hot spot when it comes to playing games, because this is your WASD, you have your reload buttons, and everything is basically here. If you're going to be playing an FPS, you're going to be playing Dota, all your skills are probably going to be here. So it makes sense that they put the mechanical switches onto the keys that we use the most, and everything else will be membrane keys, because as a gamer, you don't really going to have to use these other keys unless you're going to be chatting in game. But of course we have Discord and TeamSpeak for that. So as you can see for yourself, now that is the second generation of the Light Strike switches. Now the reason why it looks like this is because that there is actually a stabilizer bar on the switch. So what that does for you is, no matter where you press on the key, you're still going to get the same feeling when pressing down on the keys, because some other mechanical switches, you're probably going to slip off your keys here, or you're not going to get that solid feel that you have actually pressed the key. But with this stabilizing bar, that gives you the confidence that you have actually pressed the keys properly. Now next, let me show you the key right next to it. And as you can see for yourself, it's a membrane switch. So that's where it's pretty interesting. Now, this might not appeal to a lot of you, because when I was using this keyboard for about a week, I realized that I'm not a kind of person that only uses the gaming section, because I do play every other game out there as well, especially MMOs. And with MMOs, I'm going to be chatting a lot with clanmates. I'm going to be using all the other buttons here because that's where all the shortcuts are. So this might not really appeal to a lot of you. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me. But I like the idea that they are reducing the cost once again and only providing mechanical switches here. So for those of you that are only going to use your computer for gaming, this is possibly a very good option. And also, this could be another reason why cyber cafes could actually consider this keyboard, because after all, you want a low-cost keyboard, because people in cyber cafes are not very nice people and they're probably going to destroy the keyboard. So this is a cheaper alternative to give your users a mechanical switch at a lower cost. So finally, this keyboard also comes with the same media controls that we have seen in the previous keyboard, and also gives you the option to change the lighting using the FN and F12 key. There's also the option if you want to go for single colored LED, so that's where you use the left and right button with the FN key to choose the colors. And the last product we have here is the Bloody P93 gaming mouse. Now this mouse looks like a lot of the other gaming mouse we have seen in Malaysia. It is fully made out of plastic. There are some RGB zones around the mouse. You can also have profile options at the top here, and it is using an optical sensor for its tracking. Overall, my use of this mouse is also pretty nice. I don't really find a problem with this mouse, whether it comes to its clicking on the mouse balls, but however, the mouse is a bit too small for my hand. So for some of you that have small hands, you might have an issue with this mouse because it is slightly on the smaller side, especially when it comes to its width. However, its height is pretty decent, so you can definitely cover the entire mouse with your hand. However, it is going to be a bit hard for you to grip this mouse, again, if you have big hands. So guys, just to sum up, this entire video. Now the Bloody products are pretty nice. Now the designs might not really appeal to some of you that want a more simple gaming setup, but the technology and the craftsmanship that they have offered here is actually pretty decent, because all the Bloody products here actually come with braided cables. And for those of you that buy SteelSeries and Razer products, you know that you pay so much for those keyboards and mouse, yet they still don't offer you braided cables. However, Bloody does, which is very nice, because they are trying to bring the cost down, but at the same time trying to give you the best craftsmanship that they can. All these Bloody products are also able to interact with the Bloody software, which you can download on the keyboard, and that allows you to control the RGB on the keyboard. You also can control the RGB on the mouse, set profiles for these keyboards, especially for this keyboard which has macro keys. Again, you can set macro commands on these keys. So overall, Bloody does have a full range of products. Now, it is a bit sad that they are not in Malaysia, but after doing a little bit of research, we realized that there are some sellers on Shopee who are providing Bloody peripherals. Now, they do not particularly have these products out there, but they still do have some other Bloody products out there which are still using the light strikes or optical keys out there. So if you are interested in that, you can head over to Shopee and check out the other Bloody products that they have there. Alright guys, so as usual, if you like this video, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, because we take out videos like this every single week. And of course guys, I will see you in the next video.